Hello friends. So today's World Hoppers video is a little bit different than the usual, obviously, as it's just me and typically it is a collaborative effort, but I wanted to update you on how much money we made last year, the charity that money is going toward, and then also just a few updates. So I'll start with the updates because I feel like the how much money we made and the charity, that's the exciting part, but I'll start with the updates. So when I started World Hoppers back up in 2020, I think it was, because I had started it before, and then many of you know that in 2020, I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, specifically with my father and being his caretaker. So you know that that year I had to stop doing a lot of things. But when I was trying to get the ball rolling on things again, my friends were actually the ones that encouraged me to start World Hoppers back up again. My friend Jade, my friend Jessie, Joshana, and the four of us, what we decided we would do when we started it up again would be that initially we would record videos, the four of us, together. And then as things started to progress and we started to get more comfortable doing it, then we would start to host our own videos by ourselves and then invite new people so that we also introduce you to some other great booktubers and just get different people's perspectives. A lot of my friends read a lot of fantasy like I do, but there's obviously, of course, some wonderful other booktubers who read nonfiction, romance, science fiction. You've got, of course, a wide variety of interests on BookTube, and so it was a way to get to know other people, for you to get to know other people. You get it. And this way also, some of the pressure, I guess you could say, it's not pressure necessarily, but just the idea that you have to get a video up once or twice a week, because when we first started, we were doing almost 2 a week pretty consistently, and then we switched to 1. It can be a lot to do these additional videos. It might not seem like it because it might seem like, well, it's like an hour or 2 hours out of your entire week. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a lot of the coordinating that goes on behind the scenes of figuring out who's going to host what, trying to do videos that are relevant to what's going on with new releases, what's going on sometimes with shows that are popular right now, that are adaptations or things like that, people's schedules, people's personal lives, excuse me. Just trying to coordinate everything can be a little tricky, and that's actually where not so much the inconvenience of it all comes in. I'm not finding good words that don't sound negative in nature. We all like doing World Hoppers. It's just the coordinating can be challenging. And I'll add that the older I get, the older my friends get, stuff is going on in life. So where I'm going with all of this is what I was saying before about the four of us, Jessie, Joshana, and Jade, because apparently my friends only can have J names. So we were planning to do videos together, and then we would kind of split off, host our own videos, so that way each of us is hosting about 1 a month, and that is very doable. It's easier to schedule things with other people. It allows us to also bring in people that we know, because we don't all know the same booktubers. But a lot of you know, and they've been open about it, so it's not like I'm sharing personal information. But Jessie had a baby, and then she moved, and then she's having another baby. So she's been very, very busy with all of that. Being a new mom, of course, is very demanding. Jessie also works full-time, so she has a lot going on. Jade also had a lot of stuff going on. Again, she's talked about this before, so I'm not dishing out information that is a secret, but she had some health things occur, some things that occurred before she got pregnant, because she was trying to get pregnant for a while, and for a lot of people that can be very difficult, and so she was dealing with that, and then she got pregnant, which we were all so excited for her for. She had her baby and then discovered that she had a brain tumor, and so Jade's been dealing with that and surgeries from that, recovery from that, and being a new mom on and off for the last few years. So that's 2 of the, what we always kind of call the core members, that have had so much going on in their personal lives. And then of course, Joshana and myself have stuff going on too. It's just not as consuming as what the 2 of them have had going on. So it has made it so that Jess Owens, she was definitely helping out a lot when she was living in Sicily. And she kind of became a new core member of the group. She was doing so much, and she still does so much. But Jess also has had a lot of stuff going on, and her family, they have moved to the US. They are a military family, so they kind of have to go wherever they are required to go. And so she had to move across not just a different country, but across the ocean to come back to the US, had to deal with a new build. Their house is being built. She's had tons of stuff. She's back to working. So she's had so much going on, and it's just a lot. And so I don't want to let World Hoppers go, because what it's for is very important to me. The idea that my work and doing things that all of you hopefully get enjoyment from as well, and this collaborative effort, having these fun conversations with friends, the idea that that can go toward a good cause is still very important to me, and I don't want to let that go. But I do recognize that it's just very, very difficult to be able to find times that work with everyone. That's not even including the fact that a lot of times people are international and then trying to coordinate different international time zones. Like, for example, my friend Patrick is in Indonesia, and if I want to do a video that has him in it and some friends that are in the UK, that is a nightmare to try and schedule, because you have to get a day that works for everyone, but sometimes you have to get 2 days, because it would be morning for me and then afternoon for them and then nighttime for Patrick, or it's later for me, which means it's nighttime for the UK people, which means it's the next day for Patrick, those sorts of things. So just wanted to kind of give you a heads up that I am planning to continue to do World Hoppers. I'm planning to continue to have videos go up on World Hoppers, but you might see the more collaborative, specific kinds of conversational topics sort of videos less often. And I might start doing more productivity sprints. And I like the idea of doing those on Wednesdays, so it still has the World Hoppers Wednesday vibe. And I will have to double check if I have super chat, if I have that function available on this channel. But if you don't know what that is, it's where you can pay and then your comment goes to the top. But that way, if you just want to donate $1 or donate a couple bucks or something, then that just goes directly toward a good cause. And you can do that while we're chatting and reading. If you don't know what a sprint is, the idea is that you end up chatting for a little bit, and then you, for a certain amount of time, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, you just try to be productive for that entire time, whether it's studying or whether it's writing, for those of you who are writers, whether it's reading. It's just being productive for that amount of time. Then you take a break, you chat about how was everybody's. If you're doing reading, then it's like, how was everybody's reading? Do you like what you're reading? How many pages did you read? And it's a way to be working together toward productivity. So I like the idea of doing more of those here on this channel. I don't think I've ever hosted one on this channel. I do them all the time on my Patreon. But I think I'm going to start doing that, because that'll be so much easier to coordinate, because it's just me and maybe one other person, or other people can host every now and then, and it's not too difficult to try to plan out everybody's schedules and those sorts of things. I hope that this is exciting news to know that it's going to be kind of a hybrid of collaborative videos and then also productive videos. It is just getting to be very difficult, because when Jess has had stuff, Jessie has had stuff, and Jade's had stuff, that means it's been kind of Jashana and myself trying to coordinate a lot of things, and it's just gotten to be a lot, because especially for my friends, initially the idea was they would only have to commit to doing at least one a month. And the fewer people we have, the more that commitment goes up for each person. And I never want anybody to feel like this is a burden. I always want people to enjoy themselves when they come to this channel. And if I'm being really transparent, it's also, if it ends up falling on me a lot, that's trying to get a video out every week that is likely at least an hour long, trying to coordinate, trying to get new people in, not trying to have my friends feel overwhelmed because they have to be in so many videos. You, I think, get the point. So hopefully this alleviates some of that pressure, and we can continue to have World Hoppers videos goes up, and we can continue to do well, because this last year in 2022, we made over $1,200 in AdSense revenue, which I was really surprised by. I wasn't sure how much we were going to make, but I was figuring whatever we made, I'm just happy to have money made for charity, and I was really, really pleasantly surprised to see that amount. So I am going to talk about the charity here in a sec. I'm also going to show you, just because I always want to be as transparent as possible when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't like when people say, I'm going to donate this or I'm going to put this toward a good cause, and then you never really see proof of that, because it just creates this, I want to be somebody who isn't cynical, but it just creates this hesitation to support someone when you feel like they aren't maybe being as honest or as transparent. And when it's something, even though you're just watching a video, you're not actually donating money, but still, when you're making an effort to watch these videos because you know it's going to charity, and I know some of you are like, I don't even skip the ads and things like that, I just really want to make sure that it is as clear as possible. So I'm going to show you where it talks about the amount of AdSense so you can see that, and I'll show you the amount that we made from merch sales. That's another way, if you are somebody who maybe you can't catch a lot of our videos, or maybe we're talking about some things that you're not as interested in, but you want to help the channel, then you can buy some of our merch. It's very cute and very comfortable, so that's always an option as well. It's always linked in the description bars. But anyway, if you have any other suggestions too, besides just trying to incorporate more sprints into the channel, if there are other things that you think would help encourage the channel to continue to do well, continue to make money, but then also continue to be engaging and fun for you as a viewer, feel free to leave your recommendations. But anyway, getting into the money and then seeing the organization it's going for and hearing a little bit about that. The organization that we'll be donating to is called Women for Afghan Women. I'm going to, of course, have their website linked because there's so much more information there. And if you're interested in learning more, you can check out all of the information that they have. So I'm going to start with what they do. It says they have been able to provide emergency and humanitarian aid to thousands of families in need in Afghanistan. They continue to preserve safe environments for internally displaced persons and provide counseling, training, and aid to combat gender-based violence. They care for 200 children in their children's support centers, and they are looking to the future in developing new initiatives in Afghanistan that extend beyond humanitarian efforts such as economic empowerment and education. Here in the United States, they have adapted and expanded operations to help the tens of thousands of Afghans still arriving at the borders with nothing but hope for a safer life and the clothes on their backs. Today, their 2 community centers in New York and Virginia provide emergency support, including food, temporary shelter, clothing, and immigration legal support, English language training, financial literacy, life skills, and job readiness training, among other services and programs to Afghan evacuees, in addition to any immigrant community members who come to them for help. They work with traumatized and domestic violence survivors, and they educate partners, governments, and nonprofit agencies on culturally sensitive support and domestic violence prevention and intervention. Some of the statistics available show that before Women for Afghan Women, 90% of their clients had been victims of violence, 81% did not know how to read or write, and 95% of children of women prisoners were incarcerated with their mothers. A little bit more about that last point. During a women's rights conference organized by Women for Afghan Women in 2003, the staff and board visited women's prisons. They were shocked to find that children were imprisoned with their mothers, living in filth with very little food and no access to education or outdoors. And they have a list of things that they've chosen to do about this. They try to get children out of these situations. They try to provide them with resources and education so that they are not living their entire lives imprisoned. I'll have here on the screen the amount of money, the exact amount that we made in AdSense from here on YouTube, as well as the amount that we made from our merch sales. And I will have some screenshots here so that you can see the donations being made to this organization. Like I said before, I will have this organization linked as they have so much more information on their website. I know I kind of barely scratched the surface with what they do and everything they're involved in, but if you have a chance, definitely check out this organization. And if you yourself have the means, definitely try to donate to them or share this organization on social media. That's it for this little update video. I hope you're all having a lovely rest of your day. I can't thank you enough for continuing to watch these videos, for continuing to be so supportive, continuing to comment, and just be all around encouraging, lovely people. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.